Welcome to episode I don't know on Without Reason.
So what we could start with is
Yo.
the obvious, the big topic of the past 2 weeks and shit,
You gotta put this out tomorrow.
like coronavirus. So everything that's going on from the start to the end, because I feel like this coronavirus situation has been a roller coaster. Like when it first started, I was just like, I mean, I'm hearing about it. It's in China. It's fucking the Chinese people up. I called the one person I know in China, and she was just like, "No, it's not that bad, but I'm also not in the country." And then I waited till she got back. When she got back, it was just like, "Yeah, it's not that serious."
Now that you're on this epidemic.
Now it came here, and then they took it like it started blowing up here. And when it first came here, I was just like, I don't know, man. It's just one or two people that got
Do
it.
you think it came here or the test came here? Like, was the shit already here?
Well, I don't know. They said it originated in China, so
In Wuhan City.
yeah, some spot, yeah. So meantime, so while it was starting to get crazy here, I called her back and say, "How is it in China now?" And she was like, "Yeah, people are a little more cautious, but it's not as bad as the media is making it." So in China, it's like normal as fuck, kind of. It's like a normal day
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. Well, at least where she's in her city. I
Well,
don't know
now,
if her city's not too
now,
far.
now it is because at first, since February, I was writing some vendors and it was on some they can't send me shit until the middle of March. And I'm pretty sure America shut that down now. So it's probably not till April.
Yeah, you can't get shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if she's like in a city where motherfuckers just don't give a fuck about it. Because when I watch the news now in China, they deploy some shit in China. They put a box on every street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the box is screaming out, "Don't come out, stay in your home." So the streets in China are empty, and they have like these boxes just in the street, these black boxes that are kind of like big ass Alexas.
And then from China, it started to travel to Europe.
Yeah, from China to the other Chinese, I said other Chinese, that's racist. The other Asian countries, then what you
And
gonna call it? Then
Italy has
Europe.
highest
Yeah,
mortality rate,
Italy and Iran are just like really bad. So
and they checking out like flies
yeah,
from raid.
but it's really just old people.
So
So
you
the
want
thing with
to get into
coronavirus is, until now, they were just talking about how some actually just came out today too. Well, not to me today. I don't know if it was been out, but at first it was just one of those things like people were saying if you get it. At first it was like I said, it was just getting like it was like a roller coaster. At first when it first came out, people were just like, it's like the worst shit. Oh my god, it'll kill you, and these many people died. And we were like, oh, okay, that's fucked up. That's happening in China right now. And then when it finally got here, it started talking about some. Then people started saying it's not that serious. What you call it? It's if you get it and then you're young and healthy, then you're fine. You're not gonna be sick. You nothing bad's gonna happen. Then now they're talking about how you could have it and not even know you have it. You can show no symptoms and stuff. So now people are really scared. And then you got them idiots talking about some black people can't get it. Like if you're black, if you're black, you can't get coronavirus. So they got that situation, but that was stupid because NBA players got it, and it's like they're all black. But
No, this is how I feel about it. Well, this is how it affected my life. Um, my son's school is closed until further
yeah,
notice.
yeah.
His aftercare is closed until further notice. Um, I can't work because all of my promos been canceled March and April. So it's not like just March. All of March and all of April has been canceled because the type of promo that I do, I have to work with people. So that is in a way. I don't know. Like people been outside all day and night. I'm not saying that not one single person that was outside has it, but I just want to know, like, is it as serious as they're making it seem, like, with the whole virus thing? Like, is it
Apparently, it's not.
necessary?
It's not as serious. So the part that's serious is the fact that you could have it and not know you have it and spread it.
So
And symptoms don't show up until like 5-6 days later.
So is not having it, being able to spread it, closing schools, closing work, all of that stuff necessary?
Well, they just
Because
don't want
people are still going to be social. If they don't physically have people outside of every single house telling y'all don't come out, people are going to go out. People are going to socialize. People are going to be more social now than they were before because of this virus. This virus is not keeping people home.
I understand that, and I think there's an understanding about that. So okay, so the explanations I'm hearing is that if people get it, if people that can die from it get it, it's a large number, right? So right now they're saying this is the two main issues. It affects old people heavy and people that are sick, right? But the main issue is that hospitals right now don't have enough manpower and resources to deal with if everyone that can die from it gets it right now, because it's spreading so fast that it looks like it's just gonna hit everybody right away or something like that. Yeah. But they're saying that if it does keep spreading this fast, hospitals are not going to be able to take care of the people that get sick that get terminally sick from it. Because hospitals can't handle it, they're trying to tell people like stay home and slow this shit down so they were given this chart of like, okay, if we tell people to slow down and like if we tell people to slow down and like quarantine yourselves, people are still gonna keep getting sick because people are still gonna go out, right?
Of course.
But if you do that, when you have the warning, you have less people doing it. As opposed to just not giving any warning, then everyone's gonna fucking get it. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're trying to contain it by scaring people in a way.
So do you think this is just some airborne shit?
It's mildly airborne.
I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, but I feel like this is bullshit.
No, it's just like the flu, basically. So, the way you spread it.
This.
So if you sneeze, it goes into the air, and it stays in the air for an amount of time, right? And then when you sneeze and it's in the air, someone could have sneezed like 10 minutes ago, and then walked away. You walk through that sneeze, and then you're
who came up with that theory of this? If that's how it worked, like who came up with that?
That's how it works with cold. That's how it works with flu. That's how it just works with a lot of any sickness that makes you sneeze like that. Any virus that makes you sneeze, that's just how it works.
This virus shit is annoying. I just want it to go away.
It spreads. They all spread the same. This one is just a different version of some shit that's a different type of thing that spreads like that.
So, right. What if the coronavirus is some shit like the test, at least, the shit that's getting niggas positive? What if it's something that we already have though? Because I only say that because it don't seem like they know what it is. And I'm saying, what if it's something like we already have? Like if the test is looking for this oxygen, nitrogen, whatever.
No, it's a specific thing.
Level,
they know what it is. So a virus, I actually looking into it. Like, what the fuck is a virus anyway? So a virus is specific. Like, you can find that shit. It's not like oxygen. It's a specific thing. It's like saying, I'm going to go out and look for oxygen. It's like its own thing, right?
Right.
It's a specific thing. Because they say virus is like, if you know about like geology and biology and all that, virus is just like in the middle of it has like DNA in it. It has a specific DNA. That's why there's some people say that it might be a living thing, it might not be, because it actually have its own DNA.
Right. And I heard it's
DNA. There's You know,
I think
the
it's RNA.
coronavirus DNA, RNA. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what if it's not even complete as to the findings or how to find this coronavirus?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Because I only say that because it seems like our country specifically was behind on like directing or identifying it in general. It seems like our country was behind on
Yeah, because
identifying.
So the explanation to that, and I'm saying explanation because I don't fucking know if that shit's true. The explanation to that is because it started in China, they're the ones that know it, and we had to find out how to deal with it from them or something like that.
Right.
So at the same time, we didn't have the tools for it. We're just now developing the tools for it, and that's why actually I don't know if you heard the news where Bill Gates stepped down from Microsoft, and it looks like it's mainly to deal with this shit because you know he has a foundation that deals with diseases and stuff like that.
But there's
also some shit that's coming out about him too. So dealing with this.
I know a lot of people are skeptical about Bill Gates. Yeah. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are two of the billionaires that I actually like. I'm behind.
What do you mean? Like, go back to what you just said about a lot of people are skeptical. So what are they skeptical about?
Bill Gates made he made compelling remarks about population control several years ago, and people have been on his ass about it ever since. But you know, he did a lot of good things as far as like covering up his point, or at least expressing his point of view to not make it seem like it's what they think. And he makes really good points, to be honest. And I would say one of his main points that I got from, you know, his point of view on population control is that the speed that certain underdeveloped countries are growing with population, they're not growing with the utilization or the
technology.
Technology, and mainly their health systems and just their economy in general. They're not how can I say, they're not spreading out their funds in the right way. It's, you know,
so they're trying to control the population of underdeveloped countries. Is that what they're saying?
It's more so like
or he's just providing them. He's trying to help providing them. He's trying to help provide them what they need for their population.
Exactly. So, and in turn, they need.
So who's mad? Who's mad at this?
People that, you know, I would say our generation is headline readers, and we don't dig in. I would just say that for the most part, because I hear a lot of like, yo, Bill Gates is this, or Bill Gates is that, or this person is this person is that. And they usually go off the headline. And I even on here, like, I remember the time I went in on Dak Prescott, and I feel like I didn't go on him the right way because I did I did the research after, and that's kind of like my approach with everything now. If somebody gives me a headline, I don't make a comment on it then until I go dig in and do my own little research, because everybody's going off basically the same type of research, whether it's a qualified fucking media person, which is the people that we get our information from, or a news outlet or article, whatever the case may be. So whatever the problem is, somebody raises a problem or raises a headline, I go do the little research if I'm having an opinion, if I feel like I should have an opinion. For me, because I don't want to just have a general ass opinion. I want to have a more genuine opinion versus it being general, based off of me creating an opinion off of a headline and not doing the groundwork to see what the fuck is going on if I'm gonna open my mouth on it. So pause, and then you got, I would say Bill Gates speaks his thing I could relate to as far as being Haitian and always staying in tune with what Haiti has going on, and Haiti doesn't have really good control on how they not accommodate, I'm looking for a word, but spread out the resources that they get. So Haiti not spreading out the resources properly and keeping all of the finances in the government to make sure the government officials paid, versus spreading it out to the community to help the community. I kind of understand his perspective, but it's a lot to get into, to be honest. But I don't know his work behind his opinion, so it is what it is.
Well, they're also showing that well, for Bill Gates, as far as like his foundation, they've always been in the middle of, if there's some type of like thing that they need to control as far as like a disease, him and his wife always put their money up, and their foundation always puts the resources together to get to that thing, right?
Not
So,
only
for instance, the malaria stuff that he eradicated malaria in like a bunch of countries,
mm-hmm,
a bunch of African countries. He just completely removed. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So things like that. So I guess that's why once this coronavirus thing became a thing, he just jumped down like, all right, I need to put my full time into this. So I'm stepping down from Microsoft.
And the reason I respect somebody like Bill Gates is because people take it for granted because he's a billionaire, and people already in America have their ideas of billionaire. But this is somebody that made like a sworn promise, a financial promise that he's going to die with this much money. And a lot of people don't understand that. You feel me? So,
Yeah. Well, he said he's gonna donate all of his money when he dies.
you know what I'm saying? To me, that's important.
Like he's not giving anything to his kids.
And I know,
Granted, his kids are already rich themselves because his kids work at Microsoft. You know what I mean?
you have trust funds and all that, but
Yeah.
as far as when people are doing and taking risks like that, I feel like because the masses don't have their grips on that type of information or what that information even means. And I get it, he's 1 out of 1,000. It's still big that he's taking that leap of faith.
Yeah.
So
And
somebody like that, I can't really be too mad at them, to be honest.
well, the skeptical part is some people are trying to link him to it, saying that this outbreak, he knew about it for a while. Because they did show some videos of him talking about, but I mean, the guesses he made is just like, that's an easy guess to make. Like, he made some video a long time ago about TED Talk about how if the world ends, it's going to be through a virus. It's going to be through some type of disease, some epidemic, some virus, some bacteria, or something like that. He says that's what's going to end the world. And that was years ago, right? At the same time, people are trying to say that certain companies are capitalizing from this, and he's one of them. Like his foundation capitalizes from it. So him being it, so they're trying to link that he probably had a hand in making this an epidemic, so that it's more profitable for him and for like all these other.
Yeah,
They're talking about like Charmin. Charmin is like trying to make it. You know what I mean? I don't know why toilet paper is like a situation right now. But
my thing is like when
weird.
somebody's trying to help though.
No, for sure. But a lot of people, when it comes to stuff like that, you're always gonna have people say negative shit. Whenever there's a story in the public, there's gonna be positive about it. There's gonna be negative about it. That's just how it is. Any and every story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's just how it works. So you're gonna hear shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, and then like you said, especially because he's a billionaire. People already think billionaires are like evil and they do some fucked up shit,
Like that's just in people's mind.
Yeah.
And you can't take it out there.
You can't.
That's scary.
You can't. So
I think that's a self-reflection thing. I think it has to do with what they think of themselves.
Yeah.
I know it's a selfish opinion, but it's like people that have those opinions of billionaires, I don't believe that they believe that they could want to be a billionaire. So they kind of already closed that door.
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, it's not even just billionaires, it's just rich people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people say, so this is one thing I always hear, like people say Illuminati. They always claiming that this person and that person is an Illuminati. And it's like, yo, I understand that whole criticism just because I'm in a fraternity and everybody, certain religious people, the moment I tell them I'm in a fraternity, they think I'm a devil worshiper.
It's like, whoa.
They be
What
like,
sacrifice, Joe?
Yeah, they'd be like, yo, people are, whenever there's something they don't know about, whenever it's something that they feel like it's kept a secret, they automatically push it to like, it's a secret society. They do devil worship. Like, just because you don't understand that shit don't mean I worship the devil, yo. Just because I don't want to tell you our secrets don't mean I worship the devil. Like,
so don't you feel like this is something that happens to me all the time when I tell people that I'm a dom? They're like, oh, you just go around like choking people to death, or you just go around like whipping people, and I'm like, no, I don't. Like, this is the same thing with a lot of like I'm at the point where I'm just like tired of explaining myself to people. Like, I'm gonna let you think what you think and just think. If you and your conscience want to form a story, I'm gonna let you and your conscience form that story.
Right.
I'm not gonna let that affect me or what I do. But there is people that are like that. Like, with every form of life, they don't know something, they're gonna make whatever they want to say about it, and then they're gonna try to make you feel like you shouldn't be doing it or what you're doing is wrong. For example, like the coronavirus, it's affecting a lot of people. A lot of people can't work. So a lot of people are trying to find an alternative to make money. But people don't understand that people like me, what I do on the side, that's my alternative to make money. You understand what I'm saying? And there's other ways that I could do that without being in contact with the person at all. And I've been doing that for a while, and people still think, oh, you're
You don't even gotta explain it to them because they're gonna think what they think regardless.
Yeah, and then it's just like, oh, you're lazy. You're lazy because you're not working a 9 to 5, or because you didn't go to school, so you're just trying to do the easy way out to make money. But what's wrong with that? We all need money for something, right? So what's wrong with the way that we make it? If we make it a certain way and it doesn't make a person comfortable, then that's just how we make it. It shouldn't affect. You said what?
I said that's on them.
Yeah, like if you're affected by it, that's a personal connection that you're making with yourself, because you can't do it or because you don't understand it. But don't try to shame someone that's doing it because you don't get it. This happens
Actually,
all the time.
for a fact,
All the time. Now all of a sudden everybody want to do it.
No, for a fact, because I know all billionaires, they sacrifice somebody.
All right, no. See, that's the thing.
I'm joking. That was me being sarcastic. That was me being
okay, because I'm like, yo, I be hearing that shit. Yeah. Everything's a fucking sacrifice, yo. There's
no. Like, somebody in their family gotta die, and they caused it. They're not creative enough or intuitive enough or ambitious enough to reach their goal. Yeah. You know, when their goal hits, because humanity doesn't have the creativity to keep advancing, the only way you can advance is through this sacrifice. I know. I've been told.
I feel that. I see what you're saying. So people always feel like because they can't achieve it, there's no way you could have achieved it.
Exactly.
So the only explanation is that, oh, you do voodoo, or you do magic, or you sacrifice, or you're an Illuminati.
Floyd Mayweather didn't work hard to be the best boxer. He sacrificed somebody, and then the referee just gave him the win. And when he stepped into the ring, it just so happened that everything just worked out for him because everything was in his favor, including Jay-Z, including everybody that's a billionaire that's close to it. You know, it just so happened that everything just worked in that favor because of the sacrifice they made. They didn't work hard or put focus onto their goals. They didn't do that. They did the opposite. All they did was a sacrifice, and it just came.
That's just some YouTube. There's some YouTube videos, yo. They be doing that. He be talking about how everyone's a Mason, and they were always making it seem like especially Haitians. If you're a Mason, you're into some shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, Haitian Masons and American Masons are completely different. You gotta understand. Mm-hmm. Haitian Masons be doing some of that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I learned that from certain Haitian Masons I met, and they be talking some shit like, yo, y'all really be doing that shit.
And because they be on some different type of time because of their belief system. Their belief system drives them to do these things, these acts or these sacrifices or the voodoo that they learned from came from ancient history.
And they mixed it with masonry. But when you go to Masons all over the world, it's just like, no, we don't fuck with that shit. That's some other shit. That's not like Mason.
But being a Mason is kind of like being in a fraternity too, right?
It is a fraternity.
It is a fraternity. So you anything that has to do with groups supporting each other, they're doing this to maliciously do something so they can get on top or something. It's annoying.
It's just the unknown. When people
It's
don't
just
know,
unknown.
The unknown.
Yeah.
People want to know everything, but then when you tell them everything, they still want to dig. They think
But they
it's
just
more
don't believe
behind
you.
it.
and even
Huh?
if
They just don't believe you.
and when they
That's what
don't
I'm saying.
know,
They think there's more behind it.
and when they don't know, since Joe is a Kappa, it's like, oh, I know what them Kappas be doing. I heard about them Kappas. Them Kappas is crazy. Them Kappas be on some shit.
Yeah.
They be on some shit for real.
Or not just that, people in fraternity. Are you in a fraternity?
Ooh,
Okay.
fraternity.
What did you have to do to get in there? Did you have to sacrifice your soul and worship the devil and then promise your soul to the devil? I'm like, yo, first off, why the fuck would I do that for just to be in a fraternity? You know what I mean? Like, that fraternity better, like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't a billionaire. That shit ain't made me a billionaire. Why the fuck would I give up? You know, but some people, they just don't know. To them, I don't know what the fuck that shit is, so I'm just assuming some dark shit.
That's how it is, man.
I'm assuming it's some negative shit.
Have y'all watched that show that's on Netflix called Lost something? What was it called again? Lost Files or something? Something about this girl. This girl. She was a sex worker, and she was missing, and her mom was trying to solve her. It was a true story. Her mom was trying to solve the crime because the police. She felt like the police officers didn't really do their job because they were like, "Oh, she's a sex worker. She put that on herself. Like nobody cares about her." Or like they did the minimum. There was clues, and they just like didn't really care about them. They didn't put effort to it. So her and other people that like mothers or sisters or daughters that had moms or cousins or whatever that were sex workers that were missing or that were dead by a serial killer, they all came together and they started doing their own. Hold on real quick. Sorry. I'm really about to die. They started doing their own investigation, and then they started realizing, wait, hold on. The way that these police officers are handling the evidence is like it's a possibility that the person that's doing the killing was in law enforcement, and they just knew how to manipulate. Yo, that
That's some
movie
Dexter
was,
shit.
huh?
That's like Dexter. The show Dexter.
That movie was insane. It's based on a true story. It was insane. And then, oh my God, it's just like.
Yeah, I there's so much on Netflix I need to watch. I need to watch this documentary someone was telling me about. A few people called Hernandez or something about some kid that was abused, child abuse. It's like
The
a child abuse.
Gabriel guy.
Gabriel.
I can't watch it. I started watching it and I had to get off.
Is that violent?
Violent. It's a real story. His mom and his mom's boyfriend basically abused him and killed him. He was like 8 or 10 or something.
Yeah.
Like the first I would say 20. I tried to stomach the first 28 minutes, and then I was like, I can't do this. To watch a whole documentary unfold about an innocent kid's mom, I don't even want to know why she did it. I just don't want to know. Like, I just don't even want to know. It's just disgusting. I just don't even want to.
Sad thing is,
Did you hear about
that's
that?
right. That's true. So the more we watch shit like that, the more we get desensitized to it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like, back in the day, I probably couldn't watch that shit either. But it's just like, damn, now am I desensitized to it? Am I like, you know what I mean, to the point?
I'm not.
Like, do we want to get to a point where we're just desensitized to mad shit?
I'm really sensitive when it comes to kids in every aspect, like touching the kid.
I think
every aspect of a kid. I get really sensitive. A kid, and women too, and men, but kids are just like those are. It's just automatic. Like I can't.
Something in your subconscious understands their innocence.
Yeah, like I just can't. And plus, I have a child, so hearing about that is just like, did y'all hear about that? All right, this happened what was this? This happened like before Christmas. That lady, that Haitian lady that killed her husband and her 2 kids. You remember in Philly? It was a lady. She shot her husband and her 2 kids. It was all over the news.
She
It
was
was all
crazy or
over
something.
Guns on Philly, huh? Was she what?
She went crazy or something. Did
She
they say?
went crazy. She killed. They didn't say that she was Haitian, but I did my research. I looked into her. I looked up her name and everything, and either she was Haitian or her husband was Haitian, something like that.
Wow.
But she had a newborn, and she had like maybe a 2-year-old or something like that.
Let me
Or
ask
4-year-old.
you not a contradiction, but a hard statement, right? A hard question is, how do you feel about the opinion? How do you feel about this person? Because these are split-second decisions. Murder is a split-second decision. It usually happens in less than a minute, less than 30 seconds at most times. This lady's in an emotional state, less than 30 seconds. She doesn't know what to do. Her killing her husband or her kids first, I don't know what order it was in. Obviously, it's not good. It's not a good thing.
Right. But stuff like that,
Not
like,
that I'm the person to judge, but just the decision she made. How do you feel about, this is just a general question I be thinking about when it comes to, massive amounts of murder in general. Do you
but
feel
she tried to kill herself and it didn't work. So she literally told the doctors, don't try to
Save me.
what was the word? She used a word. You gotta look it up.
Resuscitate or something. No.
Don't try to help her get better. Like let her die. I forgot what was the word they used, but she asked the doctors that like just let her die. She'd rather die than to be alive.
it takes seconds. It takes one, sometimes less than 3 seconds to kill somebody, right? Do you feel like if she could do it again, and this is just me just being I can't think of words right now. What's the word when you on the opposing side? Devil's advocate. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Do you think, just me playing devil's advocate, do you think if she could do it again, she'll take it back?
I think that she would probably kill the husband and not her kids, but I don't know.
Because that's the reason.
Was that the story? Was that the story? Was there a reason why she needed to kill the husband? Or she said.
Well, from what I've
she killed
read,
him?
it was a while, but from what I've read, he was either leaving her, and yeah, he was leaving her, and I guess moving on, and that was like their ending stage, and like he still was helping her, but she wanted more help, and she was just like frustrated with him. So and I was hearing that her postpartum from her recent baby that she had was really strong because of the emotions that she was dealing with from her husband trying to leave. So yeah, she killed the baby, she killed her husband, and she killed her other daughter, her two daughters and her husband. And I just feel like
that's wild,
those kids, yeah.
To make a decision like that because your significant other is moving, is leaving. You know what I mean? Like, so you're just saying fuck life, not just fuck life, fuck my life, fuck my kid's life, and fuck your life.
Did you hear about
think about this
guy?
though.
That's selfish as fuck.
My thing is this: it is selfish, but she might have made this decision in less than a minute.
Well, here's the other thing.
That's the situation with people who make decisions straight off emotion. I don't trust people like that.
She bought that gun. She bought the gun the same day. She bought the gun on that Monday, and by the Monday night, she killed them.
See, I don't trust people like that.
So she knew she was going to cause some kind of
right. She bought the gun that same exact day. The same day they said it. I was doing my research and I was like, wow, I was even looking at her Facebook pictures.
Let me ask you this. What type of penalty do you feel like she deserves? Do you feel like she deserves mental health penalty or just to be treated like a normal criminal?
She needs to be treated like a normal criminal.
Normal criminal for sure. but I'm pretty sure they're gonna make her seem crazy.
It sounds like a mental health issue, though.
Yeah, but her kids are gone and her husband is gone. Like,
But yeah, you just killed 4 people. You ain't gonna take. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying
You
she
killed
needs
4
to be.
people, including 2 little kids. Like, nah,
I'm
you
not.
ain't.
I'm not saying she needs to be restored into society right away, but I feel like murder in general is a mental health issue. When it's not
Yes.
coming from self-defense,
Yes.
it's a mental health issue.
Yes.
So,
Anyone
but
who
hers
murders
like
out of self, yes.
hers sounds like a clear mental health issue, because if the problem was the husband or her choosing to blame the kids for the husband acting, whatever caused her to involve the kids. And once again, I'm playing this from a devil's advocate. I understand the sensitivity of the issue, but I'm just playing devil's advocate as to, her mindset. What's the reality of how she was thinking throughout this process? Because a lot of times we take away from how the criminal is acting, and what is the criminal's motivation depending on their skin complexion.
So this is what I hear. This is what I think when I hear something like that, right? The wife, or used to be
I'm
wife,
gonna send you the link.
is getting left
She's
by her
still
husband.
alive. She's still alive.
Right. So he's leaving her.
But
She's
she was
destroyed.
trying to. She was sorry. I'm sorry. She was trying to kill herself, but it didn't work. She
So
was in
this is what
critical
it sounds to
condition.
me. It sounds to me like one of those people that when their emotions come, they don't give a fuck about anything else. Their emotions, the most important thing in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna make whatever my emotion, whatever decision comes out of this emotional rage, then it is what it is. I'm gonna submit. It's kind of like, how some people say, growing up in church, how they say you just submitted your wills and wishes to the devil. You just said, "Fuck it, devil, do whatever." Like you have. I feel like it's the same concept. It's like, fuck it, emotions, do whatever. I don't give a fuck right now. Because how do you do that to kids? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they
it
have
was.
nothing to do with that shit.
It was
So
a 10
just
month.
because you feel like your life is over and you can't do shit past being in this relationship is the end all and be all of your whole life. You're just like, fuck life. And on top of that, I'm gonna take everything away. I'm gonna take everything with me. That's the ultimate attitude of someone who just, I feel like, shouldn't have shit in there. Like, someone like that, I feel like if we could ever get this technology to like figure out your future, you know what I mean? We should be able to say someone like that should never have a relationship. You should be tagged like, yo, this person should always be by
You
themselves.
talking about some Black Mirror shit?
I'm telling you should always be by yourself, because if you ever get in a relationship, you're gonna be on some murderous shit if you get in a relationship and that shit goes bad. Because relationships go bad, like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
But if you're gonna end your whole life, your kid's life, your husband's life, just because of an ended relationship, yo, you shouldn't be like, they should lock you up like before you even like. You should be alone by yourself for the rest of your life.
Some people like, but you know what? Well, this is her. Here's the thing with this whole thing. Like, she don't even have a record. Like, she doesn't even have a domestic violence record at all. So this is an epiphany that she couldn't cope with. This is an epiphany that she had the gun. If she didn't have the gun, and that probably would have been her first domestic violence thing. But because she purchased the gun, she purchased that gun for a sole purpose. So she felt like the way that she should express her feelings was by using that gun. I'm not saying that her husband should have died, but those 2 kids, like that, like
Well, let me ask you.
I didn't even care about her postpartum, because I've had postpartum before. I didn't even care about her postpartum at that point. I just felt like, you're heartless. You need to be treated like
Exactly.
You're heartless. You don't have a heart.
You're heartless, and your heartlessness came out of some shit that's really not that serious. I get it, you might think it's the end of your life, but really killing kids, your own kids at that, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you this though. You say that, but based off of her actions, is she still alive? I'm not saying that she needs to be like, just re-entered into society. She might have to face
Never.
the same penalties. Is she treated like a criminal, or do you treat her as a mental health person?
Well, here's the
I
thing.
guess both.
She needs
Because
to
That's a mental
come
issue.
into realization of what she did. Like that stuff needs to haunt her. It needs to haunt her in a way like
Lou,
what? Yes.
this shit already haunts her.
Yeah, but it's just like
She's the Walking Dead the second she did it.
well,
Yo,
she wanted to die.
speaking
She
of
wanted to
Black
die.
Mirror, there's actually a Black Mirror episode that actually is similar to that.
You know what I'm saying?
There's this episode of Black Mirror where it's about this lady. It's dope. Actually, I don't want to ruin it for y'all. I think y'all should just watch it. It's like a really dope because at the end it's just like a full because you're kind of going on a ride with them.
Wait, say that again.
You're kind of going on a ride with the main character of the documentary of the episode, and then
Which
everything
one?
is.
Black Mirror?
This is Black Mirror episode, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send it to y'all. Y'all should
Which
watch
one?
it.
Was it last season?
It's like season 1.
I seen it all. I saw it all.
So
Which
you
one?
remember the episode? You remember the episode with that lady woke up in the middle of this room, right? And she had some shit on her head, I think. And she woke up, and everywhere she walked, there was these people with these phones just putting their phones on her
Recording
face.
people killing stuff, recording everything, and being heartless.
Well,
You
people
talking
were
about?
recording. Yes, people were
Yeah,
recording
I
her,
seen the episode.
and there were people like chasing her with a thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she was being chased. Blah blah blah. Do you remember the end of it?
I don't remember
Yeah,
the
you don't
end, but I
remember.
do
So
remember.
it's
I
this
do
story.
remember. Yeah, I do remember that someone was attacking somebody, and instead of them helping, they were like everybody took their phones out, and they were just like, "Yo, like
Yes.
I remember that. I remember that episode. I don't
Okay,
remember
so
verbatim, but yeah."
So I'm gonna walk you through. Okay, so we can recap it. So the episode, the whole point. At first, you're just watching it, thinking like, "Yo, why are these people with these phones not helping her? Like, clearly she's being chased, and these people just walking around, just watching her being chased and taking pictures." You know what I mean? No, listen, because I feel like you watched it, but you forgot the big twist.
No,
So
wait,
the
wait,
whole
wait.
thing is by the end of it, they caught her. They eventually caught her because she kept running away. She even ran into these people that were helping her, run away from these people with the mask. So there
I
was
remember.
actually actors in there helping her get away, as well as the people with the chainsaw chasing her and the people taking the thing. Then by the end, she finally gets
Wasn't
caught.
like one scene in a gas station?
Yeah, that's when the person was
It
helping
was.
her.
Yeah.
So she finally gets caught at the end of it, right? She finally gets caught. They put her in a chair. They strap her up, blah blah blah, and then she's in this room, and out of nowhere, the wall comes up, and it's this big audience.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time, and then they start revealing, just little by little, what this whole situation was of her running away and these people taking pictures. The whole time, it was not an experiment. It was an amusement park kind of deal, right? Where these people come in and you're allowed to take pictures. They were showing these little sections of like kind of like walking into an amusement park. Listen. Walking into a music park, they're telling you the rules. Like you could take pictures, but you can't help her. Blah blah blah. So all those people with those phones the whole time, they're at an amusement park, and the whole point is, this amusement park was her punishment for killing her daughter. And the whole point is, in the beginning of every session, they fry her brain so she forget what she did. Mm-hmm. And at the end, after they catch her, they retell her the whole story of why you're here. And they slowly show her, and then her memories keep coming back like, you're here because you killed your daughter, and this is your punishment is to relive this shit every day. And then the whole world comes, and people come to watch you relive it.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that.
I remember, but I don't remember it verbatim. But I do. I know I watched every single episode of the first season.
I'm telling you, you should watch that again. It's actually a really.
Did you remember the episode when there was someone that episode won like a Grammy? It was that black girl from Black Panther. I forgot her name. when she was in
Oh,
that
the
little
daughter.
cage.
I mean, yeah, the
You know why what Joe said is heavy though? Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all don't have to answer it. Just think about it and tell me if you remember. Do you remember the darkest thing you ever went through?
darkest thing.
The what?
The darkest experience you ever been through. Darkest, most uncomfortable experience you ever been through
As far as what?
in life.
Mm.
I can't
What's
think
the first thing that comes to your mind? Do you think it's the darkest thing you experience?
I'm really trying to think. I guess the darkest was.
No, let me ask you, before you even tell me what it is, do you think the first thing that came to your mind is the darkest thing you experienced?
That's the darkest thing I can remember at this moment. I really have to think about it though.
What about you, Lou?
I can't really think of anything right now.
And the reason we can't think of stuff is because, just to piggyback off what you were saying, we suppress our dark times. I just wanted to put that out there. That's an observation
Yeah,
I
we
made
do.
about myself.
We do.
I realized that I do that with myself, and that's just a joke I just wanted to say. We suppress our dark times, so it's hard to address our dark times because we lock it in so deep that we put like triple barriers.
walls around it.
Yes, there we go.
Do you think that some people just don't have that time?
I know some people don't, but at the end of the day, the key is, I said darkest. I didn't say that you live the dark life. I just said, what is your darkest time? Your darkest time might be like, well, one time I tripped coming up the steps. You know, that was my most embarrassing moment. Life been good, and that was my darkest moment.
Yeah, that's true.
You get what I'm saying? But that being your darkest moment, it might raise value to what are your moments in life are, because you had so many good moments. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like
but here's the thing.
I just feel like we suppress our darkest moments. That's something I realized about myself, but me realizing that about myself, I feel like most people probably do the same.
Yeah.
I think everyone that goes through traumatic experience, unless the traumatic experience like just straight defines your life, then you're not gonna put it away.
That's the same way. Like, I feel like everyone in jail has, like, all right, here's the thing. How I feel about people in jail. I feel like there's some people in jail that did commit a crime, and then after a certain amount of time in jail, like, they reflect on it and they're like, you know what? Like, I feel like some people in jail change. But if they release, I feel like they learned.
It's possible.
It's possible. But
it's possible. But you know what sucks though?
Every single person is not like that. Some people, once they see that they got away with something, they do it again.
Right.
Or they're like, oh, okay, they do it again.
They don't learn their lesson. Yeah.
That's how they put you in jail. But there is some people that are in jail that did something really horrible, and it didn't sit with them until they realize when you're in jail, you have nothing else to do but to think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're in you can't socialize the way you want to. You're in an uncomfortable space where it's only you and your thoughts. Your thoughts are the only thing that you have that you can use your imagination and everything else. But it makes you think, wow, what I came here for.
Solitary, maybe.
Yeah, it's but I feel like if they gave every single person in jail a second chance, I'm not going to say, I would say most people would do something again.
So this is what I think. I think some people for sure. I mean, in every case, there's some people that did this, some people that do that. No one group of people is the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's definitely people in jail that probably went through it and have like super great remorse, right? But at the same time, everything has a consequence, and some consequences can't outlive your remorse. Yeah. I mean, sometimes your remorse can't outlive your consequence. So, for instance, for that lady that killed her husband and her 2 kids, she might feel remorseful in 30 years, but guess what? The consequence for that shit is like 100 years. Sorry.
Yeah.
You could feel your remorse could outweigh can never outweigh your consequence for that. You know what I mean? Well, some people, they do something, they feel remorseful 30 years later, but they only got 10 years. You know what I mean?
So you think remorse is subjective to the consequences based off what you're saying?
It's not subjective. Remorse is remorse. Remorse is its own thing. I'm just saying, some people might have remorse.
Reason I asked that is, what if she gets away with it and it's a mental health only issue? She does 5 years. She was literally a mental health patient or whatever the case may be. She was going through one of her episodes. She caused this crime. She needed to be in an asylum for 5 years, and then she gets out.
Wait.
So something like that. So something like that. I'm gonna tell you, she's probably not gonna get out. She's gonna be in asylum for the rest of her life.
I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking.
Wait, hold on.
Because it happens. This is not. I'm not making something up. You get what I'm saying?
After killing three or how many people? How many kids did she kill?
Think about the mass killers. The mass killers that we never hear about their sentencing because they go into these asylums and then whatever happens to them happens to them. And I think that's for a reason. Let's say hypothetically speaking, they come out or whatever. How would you? And at this point, because they have a mental problem, the meds and circumstances they go through in these asylums, it doesn't really help them embrace it.
Just mask it, yeah.
I
don't think that would be a smart thing. I think they would more than likely, especially after the meds, do it again.
Okay, let's say
at least do something again that's violent.
Let's say takeaway was right or wrong, but the reality is people have done horrendous crimes.
Did y'all
George Zimmerman and got away with it? You get what I'm saying? Do you feel like his remorse is leveled through his consequences?
No, I'm not saying those.
That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking. That's all I'm asking.
Right. I'm not saying remorse and consequence are related. I'm just saying sometimes your remorse means nothing based on your consequence, because your consequence could be like 100 years. Your remorse means nothing. Your remorse can mean something. So, for instance, for someone like him, if he had remorse, you know what I mean? He didn't go to jail, and then his remorse probably drove him. If he had remorse, and then it was like his remorse was greater than, you know what I mean? Well, the guy, he seems like he doesn't have any. His remorse could probably drive him to do something good. You know what I mean? Saying like, okay, I got acquitted, but you know what? I'm going to go now for the rest of my life. I'm going to give to the Black community.
And obviously he's now suing the family. So let me ask you this.
So that's different.
Do you feel like
those are still separate things?
Do you feel like they're separate?
Remorse and consequence, of course, they're separate. I'm just saying they're separate. They're definitely separate. Consequence is what happens to you from what you did. Remorse is how you feel from what you did. That's
exactly. That's
two
what I'm
different
saying.
things.
So what
they're
I'm
separate.
saying is, to me, from my point of view,
they just work in the same world. I'm
not disagreeing with you, but I feel like consequences create remorse.
It can.
That's all I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like if George Zimmerman was rightfully sentenced, as most of us feel that he should have been, and it's just our opinion because it just should, and he wasn't. If he wasn't acquitted, I feel like he could embrace remorse more because he would have to face what we feel like is his due punishment.
He would have had a chance of facing remorse.
You get what I'm saying?
He still looks like one of those people that he don't face remorse easily.
Right, but
you know what I mean? He still sees himself as a victim.
Would a life sentence possibly shift that perspective 10 years in?
No, that makes sense.
You get what
remorse,
I'm saying?
Yeah, consequence could be a cause of the remorse.
That's
which in reality, if you think about it, is that really remorse? That's really remorse that this happened to me. At the end of the day, it's still selfish. It's still like, I don't feel bad that I did it. I feel bad that because I did it, I'm in this situation.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question.
At least the situation creates the embracing of the consequences because you're forced to embrace it versus being forced to say, well, technically I felt threatened.
But that kind of remorse, that kind of consequence to cause the remorse doesn't heal a thing for me. To me, you're not healed from understanding what the fuck you did. You're just feeling sorry for what happened to you. So in my understanding of that, you can go ahead and do that shit again because you don't feel bad for the thing you did. Okay. Now
you just don't want to face the punishment again.
Yeah. So as a person, if I was his family, if I was Trayvon Martin's family, I would hope that he doesn't get that kind of remorse. I want him to feel bad for what the fuck he did,
right? Not
for his situation. So if he's only gonna feel bad for his situation, then I don't give a fuck. I want you to feel bad for what the fuck you did.
Real. That's real. I like that. I like that.
Wait, so in the Black Mirror, there was another episode where you had points, and you, based on your points, you were invited to certain places, or you remember that lady? I think her old friend was getting married, and she didn't have enough points because she did something bad or something. So she got punished for her
Yeah, it
points,
was all about. So
and
that
she was
episode was
like
about
robbing
likes.
somewhere.
Yeah.
And then because her points was lower, she needed someone that had bigger points to like go forward.
Yes.
That, do you think that in the future they're gonna have something like that?
So basically, that episode was trying to say like, your social media presence is kind of like your credit, because how much people like you and your life and what you portray online is like a credit, right? It's like saying I have 1,000 likes and this person only have 100. That's like saying I have 800 credit and this person only has 100. You know what I mean? They're just trying to use likes as credit score. I hope that it never gets that like that, because that would be like, then this world would be the fakest world in the world. Like,
not only
world ever. Like, this shit would be mad fake.
The weak minds of society will suffer from that, because
I think
the
social media is gonna
self-esteem will really burn.
Self-esteem would burn and fakeness would rise to an unbelievable, like, no one would be themselves, yo.
But
No,
don't you see that that's where it's getting at with the media so far?
I agree.
Yeah, and that's
Not being yourself and being what people want you to be is like the norm.
it is. That's why I feel like, in my opinion, that's why Dwayne Wade is doing that whole thing. He just wants people to know, like, hey, I'm okay with this. I let my son run his life.
To me,
I don't parent at all.
Not to too harper on that subject, because we already touched it.
Yeah.
But just because I talked about it today, I'm not as mad at Dwayne Wade as to the decisions he made, but mainly for the decisions that he made, to me, like, not really caring about his kid's future, what his kid has to put up with because of those decisions. You know, not being an adult and not being mature.
That's what it is. Not being the adult, not being the parent, letting your kid just parent himself. Like,
so basically, you think that he's taking the support of his child being transgender too far? Because I feel like
it's too far because it's public.
Okay.
That's what I was saying last time too. I was saying
you was saying
support it. I said I support that he support him, but it shouldn't be like publicized.
Yeah.
But because he's a celebrity, so it's gonna be publicized because.
But it's still a choice. It's still a choice.
It is a choice.
It's a choice because you can suppress, because it's still a child. You can suppress the child, and I feel like you have the right to suppress the child's social media's engagement. You can suppress the child's social media engagement, which it might be maybe for the better. Obviously, you can't really say that it's for the better nowadays because of how things are. But you know, let your child be a child. You get what I'm saying? That's the main thing I got out of our conversation. I came in strong emotionally because Dwayne Wade is my favorite basketball player of all time. So it's just like,
but that shouldn't change that.
But I mean, it is what it is. But what I can say is just that, like, him, at the end of the day, we live off of demonstrations. We live off of social truths. And this social truth / demonstration that he's doing, like I felt before and I still feel now, it's not about today. It's about what's the effect and how long lasting can this effect cause. When I sent y'all that message about what I sent y'all about the kids kissing in middle school and all that, I also caught another gem in what's going on in media now. It's not only that these kids are making these adult decisions and,
no, they're not making it by themselves. They're being fed those decisions.
And not just that, I also noticed that the kids are turning into, the kids on TV, on real TV, they're turning into Brian and Stewie from Family Guy, whereas though they are adults. They don't differentiate themselves from adult conversations or adult mindsets. I see the kids as making adult type of decisions and having an adult matured understanding. And I'm pretty sure the kid is exposing, Exactly.
Y'all see
They're
that
they're
Spanish?
exposing kids to too much these days. That's my problem. My problem is they need to start taking these adult conversations out of children's TV shows, out of children's vicinity. Like today, there's
Kids
just too much of that shit.
talking
When we
about
were
love.
kids, when we were kids,
You
I
know
used to
about
watch
love.
Power Rangers, like and fucking Spider-Man and fucking X-Men,
Dragon Ball Z and shit
Dragon
like
Ball Z and shit like that. Like, yo, why are
that.
kids today watching a TV show about two boys kissing?
Wait,
Or to
wait,
go
did
even
you
deeper,
see-
why are kids going into the conversation of the depth of love, the depth of how
It's
to
too
approach
much.
love?
Yeah, it's just too
You know
much.
what
Did
I'm
y'all
saying?
And
see
then they're trying to cover it with support your child. No, stop injecting shit in my kid's head.
Let the kid be a kid.
Let kids be a kid. So they're forcing kids to be grown-ups and then telling you to shut up and let the kids be grown-ups. Like, no, like, you
Did
know what I
y'all
mean? It's
see
a
the
combination of that
show?
shit. But anyway, go ahead.
Did y'all see the show Elite? It's on Netflix. It's about those kids that are in Spain or something. And like the trend out there is polygamy
That's a trend
in
everywhere
high
now.
school, and it's basically like, oh hey, you like girls, cool. You can like guys too, or let's like girls and guys together, or let's be in a relationship together.
But
So
the problem,
basically, that
and your
that
kids,
or you could be
Lou,
wait.
Lou, I'm asking you
It's
though,
a high school, huh?
their kids talking about this content?
Yeah, it's high school. It's high school kids. They're oh, so here's what they're pushing in media right now when it comes to high school kids: suicide and polygamy. Every other show was about kids committing suicide or kids killing each other, and then it's not even like gang related killing. It's like we're
Emotional.
all gonna stick with each other. You're not gonna say something because I know a secret that you know, and you know a secret that he know, and we all know secrets. So if one of us kills such and such, we're not gonna say it. Let's all cover each other's back, but it's like a lot of bullying, the normal stuff.
Some
But
narcissistic
back
shit.
in the day, it used to be about like somebody fighting, da 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 da. So now it's about people committing suicide and people trying to solve murders without cops. Like cops are not really doing their job. Like people are doing their job for them.
And that's where the rat joint comes in. That's what being a rat is all about. And that's why, as much as people feel like, yeah, you should cooperate with the law, the main thing about not cooperating with the law is you take away the law's job for doing their job. Their job is to investigate and piece this together. They have forensics teams. They have a bunch of teams that they should be able to piece this together. If you're doing their job for them, that's why they use you as a guinea pig. Oh, you're a part of us. Shit, you don't need to serve any time. You don't need to get convicted for anything, you know? And they sometimes still put a little conviction on you, but you know, you get time served, whatever. But it's just like, it is horrible what's going on. The culture and what's being pushed, the agenda. I'm not even gonna say the culture, the agenda that's influencing the culture is horrible. It's disappointing.
And I can go out on a ledge and say I blame social media for this. Because before social media, things weren't like that. Before social
Do
media,
you blame social media or how social media is used?
well, how it's used, it is how it's used.
Okay.
It is how it's used. You can't. So
But
social media is one of those things like you can't control how it's used because
right.
it's one of those things. It's like you're giving power to the people. You can't control how the people use it unless you have some massive mind control type shit that you can
So
control
you're
it. You know what I
saying
mean?
the creators of this social media are disregarding the effects of what could come out of the social media. So that's why you don't like social media.
I don't say I don't like social media. I'm just saying social media is to blame.
Social media is to blame because the creators are disregarding how to influence what the influence can be. And they most likely know what it could be, but they don't care because they're looking for the benefit of themselves.
I mean, that's one way. Yeah. For instance, when Instagram was talking about taking away likes and then they never did that shit.
Yeah.
Because something like that could have really like helped some shit. If Instagram didn't have likes, you know how much that would like help?
What they tried to do is they reduced the showing of the likes, but they didn't go all in on removing the likes because it takes away from their engagement.
Exactly. They're looking at it as if we take away likes, we're gonna lose money. Which in reality is, if you take away likes, you can fix a lot of people's personal problems by just taking off likes.
But that's
So
not
you
our.
don't think
You know what I
comments,
mean?
it should have been they could keep the likes but remove the comments? Because I
That's another
feel like
one. Comments is
comments
another one.
Comments could be good because it's genuine engagement, and at least you got to see the perspectives of people.
But
comments.
people bully through comments and say negative shit through comments, and that
Somebody
can drive people to do. You know,
Somebody told me that I should die the other day.
But I don't think you should. The only reason I don't feel like you should take off comments because it takes away the transparency of the reality of that someone else is living in. Me, I'm the type of person, and I know it's a selfish opinion. I'm the type of person that if you're negative or you on a certain type of time, I would rather know than not know. Because the comment being there or not being there, the mindset is still there. So it's like a police way of seeing things, but it's a real way of seeing things because it's like, okay, I know that you on this type of time. I know that this certain amount of people have this type of hate.
but the thing is, yeah, you can have this type of hate, but
Nobody
when someone who's hateful has the chance to display it like that freely, it then
becomes
it
bullying
then
and
not bullying. It just then becomes instead of it being like a a quiet sound, it becomes a louder sound. If you take away you know what I mean? So it becomes more exposed. It becomes it's
no,
now that attitude is distributed out.
and the
You know what I
only
mean?
reason
As opposed to being contained. If someone wasn't able to make that comment, they would keep that to themselves, and then it would be more contained. You know what I mean? It would be more bottled.
it will be bottled until, as we've seen in the United States, and I'm playing devil's advocate once again, it will be bottled until that person reaches their tipping point and there's a mass shooting and 19 people got shot. Because that person's attitude is their attitude. And having those comments lets you see their attitude or let you understand that. Because, before like 2010,
So I would argue that
like,
actually.
before like 2010,
yeah, because
you could easily say that people be like, yeah, racism don't exist. I mean, because it's not the hot topic. Racism, what's that? You have
So
Wayne, you got certain people on certain high levels like racism. I never experienced racism. So if I don't see that comment, once again, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying anybody's wrong, but for me personally, I feel into the devil's advocate because I like the lane I want that transparency. I want to know how you feel. I don't want you to suppress it. I don't want you to be like pander. I don't want no pander. I want the real John. Okay, so I know this still exists. That's me though. Everybody's not like that.
I understand that point. I really understand that point because I do feel like that to a certain extent. My thing is that view being broadcasted. So in my opinion, if we didn't have internet, so this comment thing, first let me say this comment thing only works if there's no commenting at all. Not just on Instagram.
have the option.
If there's no option to comment anywhere else either. Because think about before internet, right? Before internet, how did racist people, because think about it, racism is a indoctrination, right? You have to be indoctrinated into it. Before the internet, how do you have to indoctrinate people into racism?
Media propaganda.
Through media, yeah. But that's just form of media, right? Okay, before media.
Education.
And how does that education go? It has to be personal, right? I have to actually meet you and talk to you.
Or it could be
but because they don't have to do that anymore, now they could just put it online and it could reach that propaganda could reach someone from another side of the world, as opposed to before. For me to reach that person on the side of the world to become racist now, I would have to actually go to that side of the world and talk to that person. But now my views are so easily accessible to them to broadcast to bigger people. So when it comes to that, it's easily broadcasted, it's easily distributed. Hate is easily distributed that way. Hate would be way more contained if and then this sounds nuts. This sounds kind of like some communist shit or some socialism shit. But it would be more contained if people didn't have that opportunity to do it.
And,
If your hate, the only way you could spread hate was by actually meeting someone, your hate it would be kind of like it would be slow to grow.
And I get it, but what it does, because I'm just naturally always going into the deeper level of this thing. This is a frequency I operate on. It's just like that hate that's being distributed, that's being eaten up by X person on the other end. It reveals the miseducation that person has at the end of the day. So it's still good, and from my opinion, for America, that the platform is there, because it reveals how miseducated our society is. Because the people that even fall susceptible to, let's say, like a Donald Trump or something, is like you have a higher class that's looking out for their best interests financially, tax purposes, and things like that. And then you have a lower class of whites, not to just hit on whites, but let's say whites that are uneducated, I'm gonna use it as an example, that could fall into a certain hate because he's giving them a white pride. You get what I'm saying? So they get that pride, and then they fall right into, I want to mirror his beliefs because I don't know what beliefs to mirror. I don't have the education. I don't understand. So you got blacks that are miseducated. You have whites that are miseducated. You have all colors people that are miseducated, but the blacks and whites could fall more susceptible to the hate that you may most likely be talking about from my point of view. And at the end of the day, this hate falls under the umbrella of miseducated people, because an educated person that's not of our culture but is educated on our culture will see the hate, recognize the hate, and they won't fall susceptible to the hate. From my opinion, that's due to their education or their general understanding of society or of our culture and their culture, or just the history of the United States of America. And when that hate is influenced and pushed up to the level that it is, and people are falling susceptible to it just because the platform is there for them to do so, because the hate is still being pressed upon unconsciously, whether it's or subconsciously through TV, through the news, through an image that looks like me, that makes people say, oh, this image looks like a criminal, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That hate is still created. But if you're educated enough, you understand where that is coming from and why people are falling victim to it. So I get it, and I'm still playing devil's advocate, but there's a good and a bad. That's all I'm going to say about it at this point.
And I do agree that there is a good and a bad, for sure. Because I do understand what you're saying. Like being exposing, letting those people, giving those people the opportunity to expose themselves so I can know them, so I can know who they are. But at the same time, while I'm also knowing who they are, they're able to preach their message. So it is a good and a bad with it. And the only answer is to like not have any of it, or like you said, actually is a good one is education. But with education, then it depends on who can educate the person first. If a hateful person reaches the person to educate them before you get there, then it's too late, right?
Right.
So, that's one way to, I guess there's no 100% perfect way to handle it, but I just think that's what feeds into this whole new thing of like so many mass shootings.
Did you listen
I think the internet has a lot to do with it.
Did you listen to Lil Uzi album again?
No, I have not. Today I was listening to Don Toliver.
How was that?
It was cool. It's
I didn't listen to it yet.
It's heavy Travis production. It's that Travis sound, but he's from Houston. So it's that sound. It's that whole sound of like, because Travis kind of has that EDM / punk, like / rock / hip hop.
Trap rock.
Trap rock. Yeah, it's like trap rock.
Though.
No,
but it's trap rock.
Rap.
Huh?
Trap rap.
Trap rap, but it's like rock inspired. It kind of has rock like
Elements.
Elements. Yeah, it has rock elements to it, but it's him just singing. It's him doing his thing. Don Toliver doing his thing. So it's like, and actually listening through that album, it also makes me realize like Travis's singing comes
It's like
from
the
Don.
other guy that you was telling me about with the ugly looking one with the dreads coming out his head. He has a lot of good songs. I'm about to tell you.
But Travis's singing, I feel like comes from Don Toliver.
The one that got that Jesus song. You know who I'm talking about. I have a couple of his songs. Let me see. It's on my thumbs up.
Jesus song.
Hold
And he has
on.
dreads.
Saint John.
Oh, St. John. Yes.
He has that same type of trap, rap, rock.
Yeah, him and Travis Scott will probably do very well together. But St. John is a little more trappy. Whereas St. John falls a little more in the trap R&B side. He's trap R&B, St. John. So he has elements of trap and he has elements of R&B, while Travis to me has elements of rock and elements of trap.
Rap.
So it's a little separate. So it's a little bit separate because St. John falls more on the R&B side. St. John is like, a little more on the R&B side, while Travis is on the rock side. And my thing is Don Toliver's album sounds like, as far as the production, is a little more on the trap rock side, but it has Don Toliver singing. So his singing is more of the melodic, the melodic new age rap singing. Because he's like
I haven't heard it yet. I gotta listen to it.
And it's not bad. I mean, it sounds just like him. Like in the few times that I've heard him before this album, it's the same shit. It's just a whole album of it. So yeah, it's not bad. It's not like awesome, but it's not bad. It's actually, I mean, it's good. I would listen to it again for sure. So
what were you guys up to this week? Since y'all always ask me first, I need to ask y'all.
I'm gonna say music and the coronavirus, because I don't feel like we have a choice but to get into the coronavirus. But music, Lil Uzi dropped last week. That was amazing. Lil Baby drop. G Herbo dropped not too long ago. It's been a lot of great music, a lot of great albums. Jada Kiss. I just kind of been tapping into everything. I'm gonna put Lil Uzi. I'm put G Herbo.
You really like his Lil Uzi.
I'm gonna put G Herbo album above everyone's right now as far as just quality of the album. But I know Lil Uzi is gonna do better than everyone else. But
so
G
Lil
Herbo
Uzi first week was already 288,000.
It might have yeah.
His first week. That was his first week.
Well, Lil Uzi, he's solidified.
Yeah, his album was okay.
So I know that Megan Thee Stallion was going through her little thingy, and she got a pretty good album, or is that a mixtape? I don't know what that is.
She's calling it I forget. She said it in her interview. Is it a mixtape or an EP or some shit?
Okay, somebody need to explain those to me, because I know what a mixtape is, but the EP and the album, like, aren't they the same?
No, EP is like, it's almost like a sample.
Okay.
It's like a little short, small collection of songs. That's an EP.
EP stands for extended play.
Extended play, yeah.
Okay.
So, but an EP is like it's almost like I would
half
say
album.
It's like an official mixtape.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's like a half album though.
Yeah, it's a half album.
I think a full album is an LP, right?
Yeah, an EP is more of a like it's what artists use to promote their LP.
Yeah. Right.
But they'll have more songs on their LP than they do in their EP.
Yes. Yeah. Because LP, what that means? Some lengthy play?
Long play.
Long play?
Yeah.
What else?
My bad.
To go?
Just being in the gym, eating healthy and cooking. my cooking game is about to be on mom's level, but better, low key. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I'm
Wow.
really on some cooking shit. Like, you feel me? I think it's in our DNA though.
Yeah.
I think we all gonna be some good ass cooks. Like one day we gonna meet up for Thanksgiving. Mom's not gonna cook. We gonna cook, and she gonna be shocked.
Yeah. No, I definitely love cooking. Like I really be exploring. I definitely need to get an Instapot soon.
Yeah,
But
that's
Mom,
what I got
I
mom
one of
be
those.
like really cooking on some good shit.
yeah.
Yeah. So you be cooking Haitian food, Lou?
No, I be
Nah,
cooking.
it'd be like a touch of Haiti and a touch of Lou. Zodo.
I think I do the same. I don't cook a lot of
like
Haitian food.
be a touch of Haitian food, but then I just be like it'd be my own thing.
The only
It
thing I
don't.
make that's Haitian now is the rice. So I still have things to make black rice. So I make black rice a lot, and I make jus jonjo, not black rice because that's specific. But I make jus jonjo a
Mushroom
lot,
rice.
and I make jus cola pois a lot.
Ew. Oof. I can't
What?
eat Cole apart. That don't have my stomach going Cole.
Oh, because beans. Some people can't eat beans. Yeah.
I can't eat beans. I can't eat beans and I can't drink regular milk.
Ah, you're lactose.
Yeah. But
I didn't know that. You just became lactose or something?
since I was like this since I was a kid.
I don't
My
remember
dad
that.
is too. Yeah, my dad and my brothers from my dad's side.
We used to eat mad cereal.
Yeah, but
Especially you and your kicks.
I used to mostly eat the kicks.
Oh, without this,
I always
know.
had stomach aches whenever I ate whole milk. I started drinking lactose milk.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I be
I've been like this since I was a kid.
I be drinking glasses of milk, yo.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I can only drink lactose milk. I don't really like how almond milk tastes. It's not really my favorite taste. But
Yeah.
so now what have you been up to this week, Joe?
Same thing. Coronavirus has took over my life, especially since I got sick. I got a cold.
Did you go get tested for COVID-19?
I didn't go get tested. I just stayed home, and now I'm feeling better.
Oh, okay, cool.
I stayed home and I took vitamin C every morning. I still take vitamin C every morning. I mean, that's just something I do. Take vitamin C every morning. I've been actually working out still.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a really good workout today during lunch. Since I work from home, I just take my lunch. I just take an hour to work out and then shower and then go back to work.
Okay.
So I've been doing that, and then
And you've been talking about a lot of
music.
albums too, like
I've been listening to a lot of music. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So I'm getting back into that, and also getting back into just starting my business. So I'm writing things down on that. I'm writing down a plan, not necessarily a formal business plan, but I'm writing some stuff down.
Okay.
And still, thinking through all of that. But that's pretty much it. I haven't been playing any games lately. I haven't played a game in a minute. And that's pretty much it. And watching documentaries.
Yeah.
So I was watching. Oh, that reminds me. I was watching a really good documentary. I don't know if I sent it to y'all about the one-child law in China.
No.
It's on Amazon. Oh yeah, it's on Amazon. So I don't know if y'all have Amazon, but it's really good. It's dope.
Yo, what's the name of that woman's documentary y'all was talking about?
She did that.
Which one? The one about the girl that got killed? I think it's called
the female CEOs.
Oh, the one that you was talking about. Didn't you send that to us?
I sent it, yeah.
Okay.
I sent y'all the link.
So for me, this week, the coronavirus has taken a big toll in a good note. I made more income over the weekend from my dom stuff because a lot of people are home and a lot of people are not out. And what is that?
Maybe.
Oh, so that's a good benefit about it is that I didn't have, but I did notice this week that a lot of people started diving into the life because of the whole coronavirus, and people are trying to find alternative ways to make money, whatever. But I've been doing that. I've been trying to do grocery shopping. It's been crazy. I did not buy a bunch of toilet paper like everybody and a bunch of all that stuff.
I live by myself.
2 months ago, I went and bought mad cleaning stuff from Walmart just to have, so I didn't have to do all of that stuff. I just basically had to get fruits and stuff. Yeah. Other than that, I isolated myself a lot from people. I've been just basically like cleansing my home space and my social space. That's what I've been doing. A lot of people that I feel like I no longer need in my life, or people that wasn't positively giving me a inspiration or impact in my life, that were the negative outweighed the positive. They had to go. Men, women, everybody. Old friends, new friends, just gotta go. He said what? Oh, hand sanitizer. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Because you can't find that shit in stores right now.
I carry gloves with me everywhere now, so I carry like gloves, like plastic gloves, in my bag. I carry that everywhere. And
I just don't be out.
And all that. You said what?
I haven't gone out since Thursday.
Oh wow. All right.
I went out to buy food, but that's pretty.
Yeah. Hopefully these bartenders and servers survive this coronavirus. But other than that, it's good. Be out.